Hi, it's Kate at Marvelous Videos. Today we look at the survival psychological horror thriller The Mouse, Explained. There are horror monster movies or horror slasher movies which don't invoke our thought process. Their purpose is to increase the adrenaline rush in the body, but often we get a few films where everything is unclear and up to the audience's discretion. There are multiple theories related to this multi-lingual psychological horror thriller, The Mouse, highlighting the tragic consequences of the Bosnian War. This debut film of the Spanish writer-director Yayo Herrero surpasses the expectations of a typical psycho horror film. It creates an extraordinary blend of post-war trauma and the presence of a supernatural power, who is referred to as Ya Hafizu, or the guardian angel of the lead character, Selma. The entire film consisted of only 4 characters: Selma, Alex, Vuk, and Milos, where Selma and Alex were headed towards the airport when their car broke down amidst the forest in Bosnia. Selma belonged to Bosnia-Herzegovina, and we need a quick recap of the brutal genocide that occurred there if anyone is not aware of it. According to History.com, in April 1992, the government of the Yugoslav Republic of Bosnia-Herzegovina declared its independence from Yugoslavia. Over the next several years, Bosnian Serb forces, with the backing of the Serb-dominated Yugoslav army, perpetrated atrocious crimes against Bosniak, i.e. Bosnian Muslim and Croatian civilians, resulting in the death of some 100,000 people by 1995. 80% of the dead were the Bosniaks. It was the worst act of genocide since the Nazi regime's destruction of 6 million European Jews during World War II. Vuk and Milos are the film's antagonists, but the critical question is whether Selma can be considered the leading protagonist in the film. Now, Selma possessed an amulet given by her father, which was probably responsible for the mysterious force Ya Hafizu to emerge. Using probably is a must in this video, because nothing could be ascertained by the plot of the movie. You need to watch the film to come to your own conclusion, which might be different from our process of thinking. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
Ya Hafizu.
Ya Hafizu, Answer My Prayers, The Mouse, released in 2017. The movie commenced with a prayer in a different language that meant, Ya Hafizu, in you I trust above all things. You are my only protector, the guardian of my family. You hear my words and know my secrets. Ya Hafizu, answer my prayers. After the prayers, we could see the person praying, and it was Selma. Their car was stuck in the forest while Selma was uncomfortable in the forest, and she feared that they would miss the flight. Alex tried calling from his mobile, but there was no signal. Alex assured her that they would reach the nearest town, get a tow truck, and reach the airport on time.
The next town is really not far from here. It's really close. So all we have to do is we have to find somebody with a tow.
Selma refused to walk through the forest as it was full of mines, but Alex confirmed to her that there were no landmines in that area, according to the map. Reluctantly, Selma accompanied Alex and their dog Bobby, and headed south towards the nearest town. Selma was very tense as she clutched onto her amulet, while Alex mocked her that she loved the amulet more than her boyfriend. It's clear from their conversation that Selma was a Bosnian living in Berlin for 2 years, while Alex was a German. Alex nicknamed her Mouse, as they have the same pronunciation in English and German. As they walked, Alex exclaimed that he felt Selma was hiding facts from him, and he wanted her to open up to him. Soon they found a forsaken car where Alex found a walkie-talkie, but there was hardly any audible sound from the other side, and that too was in a different language. Alex requested Selma to talk to them in her language, but she became agitated and ran away. Alex apologized for not listening to her, and Selma then revealed the secret about her amulet. Her father had given it to her, and it was Ya Hafizu, which meant great protector.
Means great protector.
And it was supposed to be her guardian angel. Alex insisted that he was her guardian angel and would protect her all the time. Soon, they heard their dog Bobby barking at a distance. As Alex left to find what had happened, Selma felt someone was standing behind her. Probably her guardian angel was warning her about the forthcoming danger. Soon she confronted 2 men, Vuk and Milos, who spoke to her in the Bosnian language. As Selma started running away from them, there was a blast as we found Selma lying wounded in a dark place, while Vuk was seen trying to rape her. Suddenly, Selma opened her eyes, and it appeared to be a dream. Their dog had died as the landmine had exploded. Vuk and Milos finally spoke in English and conveyed to Alex that they were Serbs and they would help them. Alex was ready to take their help, but Selma panicked and shouted as she did not want to accompany those men, and she tried to convince Alex that they were in deep trouble. But Alex wouldn't listen to her. But soon, Selma fainted as Alex found that she was severely wounded from the landmine. They made a stretcher and carried the wounded Selma into their underground den inside the forest. Suddenly, to Selma's horror, Alex was shot while she was dragged to the underground den and beaten brutally. She was left amidst the other people killed in the war. Yet again, it was all a dream, as she was bandaged properly and slept. Still, Selma was not convinced about the two Serb men being innocent and threatened them with a knife. Alex shouted at her, and while they quarrelled, Selma slapped Alex, which highly annoyed him. Alex apologised to the Serb men on behalf of Selma, stating that she had been traumatized ever since her family had died in the war. They had performed the funeral just the day before. He added that she herself had been a victim of the bloody conflict, and it was better for them to leave soon. Vuk and Milos demanded 10,000 euros before they let them go. As Alex denied it, they hit him, hurting him badly as he gasped for breath. At that moment, Selma emerged from the den while Alex asked her to escape. She ran back to the underground den and waited for the worst. She held her amulet tightly and started praying for Ya Hafizu. Soon, a humanoid figure appeared behind her, while Milos appeared and tried to molest her. Swiftly, Selma slit his throat and she watched as Ya Hafizu slaughtered Milos. Next, she confronted Vuk, and after some time, she managed to stab Vuk in the stomach. As Selma met Alex outside the den, she told him that the evil Serb men had been killed. Alex was shocked to realize the change in Selma. As they tried to bury the bodies in the ground, they discovered that Vuk was still alive. Alex took a stone to kill him, but his humanity stopped him from killing a half-dead man. But he was dumbfounded when he saw Selma hitting Vuk repeatedly with the rock and killing him. The expression on his face said it all. He was shocked and terrified with the transformation of Selma, who by now had become a mystery to him. As Alex tried to run away from Selma, all of a sudden, there was an explosion of a landmine between them. The scene then moved to a park in Berlin, where Alex was seen waiting to meet his new girlfriend. But suddenly he heard an explosion and Selma's figure, holding a gun, appeared in a haze in front of him as the credits rolled. Many people did not like the film, and for them it was a waste of time. But if you appreciate the direction, cinematography, sound, and brilliant acting in a film that stands out from the usual horror movies, then this film should be on your watch list. At least watch the movie to write to us about your own explanation of the plot. The historical background of the film also makes it special. The main stars are Alma Terzic as Selma, August Wittgenstein as Alex, Alexander Sexton as Vuk, and Sanin Milovic as Milos. They were all outstanding in their performances, especially Alma Terzic. Rafael Raparaz deserves a huge round of applause for his excellent camera skills. Yayo Herrero received the award for the Best Picture for the Mouse in Fantastic Fest 2017. Is Ya Hafizu for real or imaginary? The only lead we got from the film was that Selma was psychologically traumatized for some reason. First, the Serbians had killed her entire family, whose bodily remains had appeared after their grave was uncovered due to flood. This is based on an actual event, as it had happened in the year 2014. A devastating flood had uncovered the landmines and the mass graves in Bosnia and Herzegovina, so Alex and Selma had arrived from Berlin for the funeral of Selma's family. Secondly, her past memories of the war seemed to haunt her, making her restless and agitated. Thirdly, we feel she definitely had some disturbing past memories related to the forest, which made her so horrified from the moment their car was stuck there. The film commenced with her prayer for Ya Hafizu. Selma's father had given her the amulet for protection against any danger or threat, while Ya Hafizu was the great protector, her guardian angel. No matter how much Alex claimed that he was Selma's guardian angel and she would be completely safe with her, but I guess empty vessel makes the loudest sound. Alex didn't have the capability of protecting Selma, nor did he have the foresightedness to understand the hidden motives of the two crooked Serb men. He even disregarded Selma's warning that the forest was full of landmines. Till a point in time, Selma had tried her best to embark on Alex as her protector, but when she saw that Alex had totally collapsed and appeared helpless in front of Vuk and Milos, she prayed for help. And that's when her great protector appeared. From the film, it's difficult to theorize whether Ya Hafizu truly existed, or if it was Selma's own dark embodiment. It's also debatable whether she genuinely appeared or if it was Selma's hallucination of her own evil version. But soon, Selma became calm and focused while she possessed all the courage and strength to slit Milos' throat and stab Vuk in his gut. Again, after slitting Milos' throat, we saw that Selma was sitting at a distance, while Ya Hafizu went and broke the crook's neck completely. Was it real or just another hallucination? Well, the murders were real, and later when they found that Vuk was alive, Selma smashed his head by hitting him repeatedly with a stone. Alex was appalled with the new personality of Selma, hence Selma was no longer scared or helpless. We think she herself had become Ya Hafizu or the Great Protector.
Please.
Our thoughts on the mouse. Quite a few theories have been discussed regarding the end of the mouse. The first and most probable theory is that Alex had died or got injured as the landmine had exploded, and the last scene was just another alternate reality ruling her mind, as Selma always had hallucinations of her worst fears. This time she knew Alex would run away from her, and she wouldn't let him go. So her fear was Alex would have another girlfriend and she would consider herself killing anyone who would take Alex away from her. The second theory is Alex was deeply influenced by Selma, and he became like her. He had separated from Selma and joined his girlfriend's group of friends in the park. Probably he envisioned Ya Hafizu as Selma, just the way Selma had thought her to be a faceless female alien-like shape. Third theory states that both Alex and Selma survived the landmine blast while they reached their destination and said goodbye to each other amicably, but Alex was not happy with the terrorizing version of Selma. But Selma later decided to stick on to her terrorizing version and show Alex her new personality with an AK-47. One more theory can be Selma had always been terrorizing before she lost her family and moved to Berlin. She had forgotten her past and moved on with her life, but circumstances put her back to the point in place where she had started, so she was forced to commit the crimes and become violent again. Well, according to our theory, Selma had schizophrenia, or multiple personality disorder, or both. Often people develop this kind of mental disease after the type of traumatized life that she had. She never revealed her dark and complex past life to Alex. Probably she herself didn't remember them correctly, or maybe she just wanted to forget them and move on with her life. The remains of corpses of her family entering the forest, which was a part of her childhood memory of war, might have triggered her mental disorders. Soon after she got hurt, she had started imagining her worst fears. The fear of getting raped and the fear of losing the dearest one might have tormented her subconscious mind for a very long time. We think that might have caused the bad dream she was having. When she was threatened to the extent of being tortured or killed, her violent personality became dominating. That is how the personality of Ya Hafizu took control over her character, and she became a violent, merciless murderer of the Serbs that she hated the most. Deep inside her mind, the hatred towards the Serbs was always there. It just needed a channel to overflow. For the ending, we think they were both injured with the explosion, and this time Selma's dream was Alex had left her and found a new girlfriend, while she, the terrorist with an AK-47, was how Alex imagined her in his subconscious mind. Watch this unique film with patience, and please write us about your thoughts and explanations of the storyline in the comments. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks!
4, run mouse. 3, 2, 1.